What's up, gamers? It's your boy Xero Style, alias XO. No, this is just wrong. Welcome to Xero Style. I am your host, Xero, the cyberspace hero, here to complete a goal. No, a dream that I've had since I was 12 years old, probably. Big thanks to Kevin Smith for making my entire generation want to be mall rats, and that's exactly what I was. I lived at the mall every day. My personal mall had two arcades, Aladdin's Castle and the Tilt. Both of them had Killer Instinct. This is my absolute favorite fighting game of all time. I always dreamed of having my own arcade cabinet in my house as a kid. A fighting game in particular because joysticks really are the kind of thing that you need for a fighting game. Sure, I can play fighting games with a D-pad, but it's not the same experience. And when I really first got into fighting games with MK1 and 2, Street Fighter, it was all on an arcade machine with big buttons like these, big half-control joysticks like these ones. And man, I've just never got into the idea of just having like a big joystick sitting on your lap or your table at home while playing with emulation. I've always wanted to have a dedicated arcade cabinet for playing fighting games. This right here is a 3/4 scale reproduction made by arcade1up, a new company that is making new arcade machines that are slightly smaller and more affordable. So this machine plays Killer Instinct 1, 2, and as well as a few versions of Battletoads. Why Battletoads? Well, they're both owned by Rare, the company that originally created Killer Instinct under the Nintendo logo. You'll notice the Nintendo logo is completely missing from this cabinet, and it's because they have nothing to do with Killer Instinct anymore. Mortal Kombat was notorious for being so realistic because they used live action stuff that they mocapped and then converted into pixels. Killer Instinct took that into the fantasy realm with these 3D models that looked so good and just really stepped it up a notch. Not to mention all the fan service that this game has in it. I mean, it's just 90s. As you know, as a hoarder and collector and eBay fiend and fanatic, my wife has recently banned me from eBay once again. I have definitely been trolling for years trying to get an arcade machine that I could convert into Killer Instinct, but man, they're like $4,000, and that's using an old JAMA monitor and old controls that'll probably need a bunch of maintenance and upkeep to just keep it going. This is an out-of-the-box solution for under $1,000 that gives you a pretty good arcade quality experience. This isn't going to be a tutorial or anything like that. It's going to be a vlog just like always. We're going to do like a time lapse for 6 minutes or so. I'm going to explain the process, hopefully play some sweet KI jams if YouTube doesn't block my monetization, and we'll just have a good time building this cabinet together. And I'll show you, it's not easy. It says in the instructions you only need one person and a screwdriver, but I needed more tools than that, and it took 3 generations of Harrisons to put this thing together, 2 sons and 2 dads. Which, you know, I took a little bit to edit the time lapse and make sure my dad's butt didn't appear in the video over and over again, so you're welcome. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's build this thing, shall we? So everything comes packaged in this one 60-pound, 5-foot tall box. Shout out to the delivery dude who did this by himself. Box looks pretty good. A little beat. Opening up with my Spyderco Plague Para 3. A little bit of knife-like action for my EDC friends. Break this seal and pull this tab out. The lid to the box is actually glued down. Took a little bit of force to pop it all off. Inside you'll find the manual, some packaging stuff, all the cables and screws, side panels, and then a ton of boxes with all of the other components in it. Get this out of the way. Now begins the process of opening all of these boxes and pulling everything out of them. My pro tip for this step is to immediately take all of the packaging foam, put it back in the box, and get it out of the way. When you're done with this step, get rid of those boxes to make yourself more room. You're going to need it because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to sort in a minute. Here, we actually have game cabinet console controls. Finally, we've got ourselves a stool. Alright, let's start here. So the stool is actually pretty rad. I will say that every single component was wrapped up very well. I don't know if they didn't want fingerprints or scratches or what, but I mean every single component. So one of the things that I didn't actually show in this video is that the fourth leg here was actually bent. I had to undo the screws here and take it all apart and rebend one of the legs before I got the thing all together correctly. But it wasn't hard, just something I needed to point out. Otherwise, the stool is awesome, and it was included in the actual price of the kit. Oh, you thought the unboxing was over with? Get real, we've got a lot more to go. Every one of the things that came out of these boxes are individually wrapped in plastic with foam dividers in some cases, for some of the more delicate components. And here I'm taking a look at some of the spots that had a little bit of marks on them, not too bad. Fox and I spent quite a while checking out the control deck, playing with the buttons and stuff like that. Then we get down to business and start taking everything apart and trying to sort it in some sort of logical way. There's just so many parts. I read the manual a couple of times and watched their install video before I began this process. Just to try to familiarize myself beforehand. Here's the actual monitor, computer. I'm explaining to Fox all the components that are in here. Took a moment to check out the little faux cooling door. That was a nice touch on the front. Alright, let's get down to business and start building this thing. So the bottom of the side panels is actually extended, so you got to use these little metal brackets and 4 screws to actually extend the bottom out. Next, you put it on your side and you attach the bottom panel. Now Fox and I begin the arduous process of inserting all of these dowels into the peg holes with support beams that are going to actually hold this thing together. He was a great helper. If you're watching this, I love you, buddy. Up next, I'm installing the support beams here for the control deck. Get them on there nice and tight. Out from behind, I'm going to install the edges to the monitor so it can attach to the bezel. Then take the marquee and the speakers, connect those things up together as well. Now we're going to set the whole side panel down and insert all of these support beams. I thought they were kind of flimsy and were going to fall over and break. I actually asked Fox and my dad, who'd been observing, to try and help me. Got the monitor installed correctly at the right angle and everything like that. And the sides just kind of stood up on themselves. Next step is to actually build the exact same first step again and put the extended door and the little riser here. I don't know why I didn't tell you to just build 2 of them at once since the steps were identical. Lego would have done it that way.
It's the way you move.
Up next, we're going to actually attach the coin door here. There's a couple of little plastic pegs and some screws. I ran a video before, so I didn't actually build the riser, but it was pretty simple, just a couple of square panels all put together in the middle. Up next here becomes the hardest part of the entire process. Actually getting everything aligned correctly in the cabinet to stay together. Man, this was definitely the part where you needed a partner to get this latched in right. My dad and I spent so much time trying to get everything level, every little peg popped into place. The J panel just didn't want to sit right. It was so finicky, but once it was in place, it was perfect and it was totally hooked up. It just took a while to get there. Like I said, I ran out of video. You kind of just put some wires together and screw the back panel on and you're done. Here I'm installing the control deck. Gotta make sure that you clean your Lexan. You don't want fingerprints on the bottom of the plexi. While I'm at it, I decided to clean the monitor as well too. Throw on the dust covers, screw on the bat tops, screw down the entire control deck nice and tight to make sure everything is good to go. Final step here is plugging everything into a surge protector and booting the cabinet up. It is our complete Killer Instinct cabinet. Finally, check out how sick this thing looks. It's 3/4 scale on a riser, but it is the perfect height for me to play this thing standing at 5'5" tall. And with the stool, my son has no problem sitting right next to me and getting down. So when you start this, the emulator actually plays the real arcade ROM. Attract mode and everything. Warning screens. The only thing that's different is this little intro bit. It used to say, for your only Ultra Nintendo Ultra 64. And you know, since Nintendo's not actually licensing this product, Codemasters put their own logo here in the KI Rare style, which I think fits pretty well. It's the only part that is just ever so slightly off. Everything else is exactly arcade quality. Man, I can't tell you how long I spent in the arcade watching these attract modes. Telling you a little backstory for each of these characters and these cool 3D bits. I really dug this one for Jacob. The way his eyes light up. Super cool. Nostalgia just slapping me in the face seeing this, man. It's just so cool. Dude, for the time, Rare's graphics were sick. I mean, I have a CRT filter on this and my camera's not amazing, so it doesn't look perfect. But back in the day, this looked so good. Okay, I can't wait. I gotta play this. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna go 2-player with myself here. Throw a little easy combo breaker in. Let's see how these controls feel. Can I do a combo here? Yes, indeed! Alright, one fight against the AI, and then I'll go back to talking about it. So while doing this video, I actually found out that the cabinet was set to very easy, so that's why I'm doing so well in this video. Just full disclosure, I didn't realize, but it's probably better for now. Get my arcade legs back again. I haven't played with a joystick like this in so long. It's like riding a bicycle, dude. Alright, let's see if I can get this Ultra off. You know I can. So when you first turn the cabinet on after the sweet spinal loading screen, you're greeted with this menu. Allows you to switch between KI1, 2, Battletoads, and then the bonus games, which are more 16 and 8-bit versions of Battletoads. I actually think that this is Nintendo and either Super Nintendo or Sega versions of Battletoads. But the arcade version is really fun. You can actually play this online as well as Killer Instinct.
Stomping time!
So from this menu, pressing up and down allows you to go between games. Pressing left goes to the settings. This pops up the EEPROM settings from the actual game, or the main settings probably in this case. You can choose the difficulty, the amount of blood, attract mode sounds, blood color, version of the ROM to play, hiding the menu for each of the games. Switching over here to the right, you see all of the online stats as well as available games. If you click on the stats section, we can switch between what leaderboard we actually want to look at. We can look at like max damage versus AI, character wins online, max combo hits versus AI or online, global rankings. Like there's a whole set of different stats that this game has for KI1, 2, and Battletoads. All those stats get recorded and uploaded to the servers if you choose to play online. When you boot a game, it gives you a nice overview of exactly what's printed here on the cabinet before you start. I kind of hate that. Wish we could turn that off. Load time, pretty good, pretty quick. I love the like classic TV style volume adjustment with this vintage CRT TV look to it. It's very cool. If you press the live button over here, it pops up the live menu. I'm currently set as invisible. If I turn this, I can choose visible only to my friends or visible to everyone. And then we can choose all kinds of options if we want passwords for your games, number of wins before people get kicked out of playing games, number of losses, that kind of stuff. And just pressing that hides the menu. This is also the secret pause menu in-game. Just press the live menu and the whole thing freezes and pauses, and you can jump in and out and take a break, which you couldn't do in the arcade. Holding the start button on player 2 for 5 seconds will reset the ROM and the game will kick back to the start screen. Holding start for 5 seconds on player 1 will actually kick you all the way out of the game back to the main menu of the arcade1up screen. Well, that is the video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I already showed you my knife earlier in the montage. I'm not going to do a full pocket dump. This video is devoted to this arcade machine, so we're going to stay on topic. If you want to see more stuff about knives, check my previous videos or my upcoming ones. But if you think we're done with this thing, you are wrong, because I'm going to be modifying these joysticks probably pretty soon. I might change this marquee. We're going to probably do an update video on this cabinet after I mod it a little bit. Anyhow, I'm going to leave you with a little outro of me beating the game. So, hope you're ready to see Killer Instinct 1 and 2 get got. And if no one has told you today, you're awesome. I hope that you have a really good day. And even if you're not feeling like it, you are loved in this world. So, have yourself a good one. I appreciate you being here. Later on.